Okay, question 3. Tick one box to show the named section of a program that performs a specific task. So we've got 4 possibilities: file, function, parameter, and process. So let's just talk about the possibilities of a file. A file, often called a text file, is a way of permanently storing data. So if you've got some data in the RAM and you switch the computer off, then it's lost. But if you store it in a file, that file then is stored on the hard drive, and then it's still there when you switch the computer back on. So text files is something else that we need to talk about. I'm just going to make a note actually about text files, because I think there's another text file question coming up, but if there's not, then that would be something to focus revision on. Anyway, so text files, we've got functions. So a function is a way of reusing some code. So we give that code, that section of code, a name, and then when we want to reuse that code in our program, we just type in its name and that code will run. So if you wanted a bit of code to run, say 10 times, you'd create it, you'd write it, give it a name, and then you just type its name 10 times. Parameter. A parameter is when we are using some code, and we if we're using a command such as print or something like that, and you have in Python you have the brackets, what we put inside the brackets is the parameter. So parameter is something that is a value that we want to give to some code, and it will be inside brackets. And then a process. A process is just something that happens. Something that happens in your code. That's probably a bit of a red herring word in there, because that doesn't really describe anything necessarily that we've done. So looking at the question again, tick one box to show the named section of a program that performs a specific task. Well, we just talked about functions. Functions are a way of giving a name to a chunk of code that we can reuse. That chunk of code may perform a specific task, it may perform a couple of tasks, but it is function. So a function is a named section of code or a program that does something, and we can use its name to redo that code, to reuse that code several times. Okay, I'll stop this one and then we'll move on to question 4.